Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of our International SEO series. Today, we're joined by Alan, who's going to be talking to us about Ireland. So, hi, Alan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How about you?
Not too shabby.
So, you're going to be talking to us about Ireland, right?
I hope so.
Perfect. So, should we get started? So, I thought maybe you could just explain a little bit of the history behind it, because I know lots of people kind of dump the UK and Ireland into one bowl. But actually, it's a little bit more complicated than people kind of first think.
Yeah, so rather than thinking of it as just Ireland and the UK, you need to think about it as 5 different countries, because that's what it boils down to in the end. It's a rather delicate situation. So rather than just thinking Ireland and the UK, it's Ireland and Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England.
Yeah, I can imagine that could people could get a little bit upset about that. So I think, why don't we go to Ireland and take a look at Ireland next, and see some of the tips for expanding into Ireland.
So just to set the scene, as we mentioned, we have hit the 5 million mark, and crime is down. Our 3 most popular surnames are Kelly, Murphy, and O'Brien, and on average people have about €1,000 to spend a week.
Yeah, I'd be a bit careful with that, because I know in Ireland we're suffering from the kind of cost of living crisis as much as everybody else, and Dublin is super, super, super expensive. Isn't it like the 3rd most expensive city in the world now?
It is up in the top 1% for most expensive cities in the world to live, but that's mostly because of the rental disaster and the housing disaster. It's no longer a crisis. It was elevated last year to the disaster, so people would take it more seriously.
So yeah, take that disposable income with a pinch of salt, because if you're paying like €3,000 on rent, plus bills, plus living, it's an expensive place to live.
Last time I was home, a lad I knew spent 90 quid on a taxi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. So as you can see here, over the last 10 years, our online spending has gone from less than 2 billion to over 4.5, or almost 4.5. It's expected to hit. Ireland is spending a lot of online purchases, so we are to be taken seriously when it comes to Irish SEO.
Yeah, and Irish people really love fashion, I can see, and appliances. That's grown a lot.
Anyway, here's some of our top shops. Argos, which is actually now closing down. Most of these are online retailers, and about a quarter of them have no online presence whatsoever, such as Argos, which is shutting down because of that very reason.
Yeah, I should add that's not us, Argos.
No, that's Argos, the fake Amazon that only do in stores.
It's quite a weird concept to foreigners. I know foreigners get a little bit confused when they go into Argos, because it's not actually a shop. It's like a shop with a warehouse behind it, and you have to go through and take a look through all of the different little,
it's like going to IKEA, or it's like going to IKEA.
Yeah, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, well, you just look in a magazine rather than walk around all like IKEA all day and get yourself tired. It's great.
I don't know. I like seeing the stuff in the shops, but hey, let's not go into the details of the different Argos.
Yeah. Also, Done Deal, Adverts, Gumtree, they're all the one company now, or they have been the last while. Anyway, moving on. So, is Google enough? And I think it's quite fair to say that yes, Google is very much enough, because I think people who are using Bing are your parents, and they haven't realized they're using Bing, or they just haven't figured out how to turn it off yet. Surprisingly, Yahoo is there. DuckDuckGo, I would expect to see to grow a bit more. And then EcoAsia and Yandex, they're probably expats coming to Ireland.
Yeah, but that's good news, though, for us, that we don't have to worry about a different search engine, and we could just use Google. And you'd kind of expect it, because Google has a massive office in Dublin. I think it's a European headquarters, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's really easy to spot on the skyline, because it's the only building that looks like a giant computer server.
I never put that together, but yeah, it does make sense now you say it.
It's a giant black building with glass and light. Yeah, no, once you think of it, you can't see. I can't unsee it. So here we go. We have, as of January, mobile usage is expected to hit almost 62%. And desktop still being quite prominent, but that's probably coming from offices.
I'm kind of surprised because it always used to be kind of 50-50 in Ireland, but now you can see that mobile really, really is going first. And mobile optimization is really, really important because most people just search on the phones now, don't they?
Yeah, well, maybe it's an industry thing, but I would have said that mobile usage would have been up to in the 70s and even less, like desktop just being for those few. But then again, there's a lot of business being done in Ireland, and business is done in offices, and offices use desktops.
True. And then, of course, you have the mummies who use desktops instead.
So, social media usage. Oddly enough, Facebook is still at 72%, but these are 3%, 3 years out of date. So I would say that Facebook has dropped down a bit more, and LinkedIn has grown a bit more. But Instagram, Twitter is apparently dying slowly thanks to Elon Musk's meddling. And Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest, I would say, are around the same ballpark still.
So now that we've looked at kind of the digital atmosphere, if you can call it that, in Ireland, why don't we take a look at one of the big questions, Irish English versus British English?
There is a big difference. So in proper British English, you would say, come here. If I wanted to call you over, I'd say, Sarah, can you come here? But in Ireland, because of being translated from the Irish language, you would say, come here to me, Sarah, because because of the Irish sentence structure being directly translated into English. And Alan is my name is Alan is Anam Dum. So Alan is my name. Alan is Anam Dum, my name, rather than my name is Alan. So that is the main core thing, the main core difference between Irish English and English English.
And there's lots of lovely words as well that are different, aren't there?
Yeah, so like you get this everywhere though. So like bacon is the actual section of meat that you're eating, and a rasher is the technical term for a slice of that meat. And when we ask for a rasher. Now, when you're talking about runners or trainers or jogging shoes, obviously in America you have sneakers, in Ireland you have the runner, and in the UK you have trainers. Ireland, of course, has to be the odd one out when you're talking about a pencil parer over a pencil sharpener. You have an eraser and a rubber, washcloth, face cloth, and a flannel, cops, Gardaí, and police, sidewalk, footpath, pavement. These are all very tiny little things that you'd rarely ever see in a business sense unless you work in a stationery and clothing company. But because all of these are such colloquialisms, you wouldn't see most of these you wouldn't have to worry about most of these on any sort of a business website, especially if you're dealing with B2B rather than B2C. Anytime these would come up would be a B2C situation.
And if it does come up in B2C, that's where you have to be really careful, isn't it?
So here we have some examples of searching for runners in Ireland. You'll get lots of lovely sports shops because we want to buy a pair of runners, a pair of trainers in the UK. And we've Sports Direct, which is another good shop. M&M Direct, another good one. Lifestyle Sports, which I would have put higher at the top, but apparently they're not spending the money on the SEO, as it's one of our main sports shops. And then over here, runners in the UK, you have Argos, which doesn't sell runners in the Irish context, so I'm really confused as to what they're selling. I don't know.
It's rugs. Runners are for rugs in the UK.
Oh,
so this is why you have Argos. This is why you have the housing store, and this is why if you look at Wayfair, it's /rugs. So they're two of the same words, but they mean something completely different.
So setting your site up for Irish English. So you should always be using the ENIE when you're dealing with Irish English. Google wants more accuracy so that it's targeting the right information at the right people.
Ireland is a bilingual country. It has 2 official languages, English, Irish.
Yeah, apparently Ireland is a bilingual language, and apparently 40% of the population can speak Irish. But what it doesn't say is whether or not they can speak Irish fluently or if they just have the cúpla focal. So there is a few surviving Gaeltacht regions where you can go and speak Irish fluently. So you got the one in Kerry. There's one here in Tralee. Oh, no, not Tralee, Galway. Donegal is the main one for summer camps. And then there's one, that's Dublin. There's one here in Meath. I could be miles off. I was never good at geography. So yes, they are specific towns and stuff where you can get in and speak Irish exclusively, and they're just exclusive little, Irish strongholds, although there is an Irish revival going on.
Yeah, because I heard lots of people are kind of learning Irish now, or is going through this revival stage, which is pretty cool.
Funnily enough, half of the team at Conrad and the Gaeilge are actually non-native Irish people, or non-native people who have learned Irish as a second language in an effort to revigorate it and get the website up and going and SEO it. Speaking of which, you can also Google in Irish. Fair play to them.
Yeah, that's really cool.
There is bilingual SERPs. So obviously in the Gaeltachts, they have their own bookshops, and those bookshops have very forward-thinkingly created online stores and have made a very big faux pas when dealing with two languages of doing bilingual SERP. But I understand why they do it, because again, most people don't speak Irish. So, to simplify.
Like from a user point of view, it looks pretty cool because you've got the Irish, you've got the English, everybody can understand it. It's open to everyone. But from an SEO point of view, it's sad because, you're not meant to mix the languages, and you're meant to have two different versions and, language best practices.
Yeah, so I'm really not sure how I feel about this. Like, I know that we should be going for just a one language approach. I know. Well, yeah, sure. Look, the word search is book in Irish. So it should just be showing Irish results. Because like if I'm searching for books in Irish, then I obviously speak or want to speak Irish enough that I should just be getting Irish. I don't know. Maybe they need an Oscailga SEO technician to help fine tune their practices.
Yeah, I don't think that's the thing yet. But hey, something you could, if you do learn Irish or decide you want to. Business idea there.
Definitely a gap in the market. So as we can see, there is actually search volumes for Irish words. So broga being shoes, Lauer being books. You can see that people are actually searching for words in Irish, which is fairly impressive again.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't expect to see that when that popped up.
And we even have some websites such as Conrad and Gaeilge who are using proper SEO in Irish. So GA for Irish, and then IE for the Irish variant of it, not to be mistaken with the Scots variant. And again, alternate links for the alternate versions of the site. So fair play to Conrad the Gaeilge. Even social media is in Irish, which is fair enough, because let's face it, even people who speak fluent Irish want to be on social media.
Oh yeah, and it's a great way as well for getting young people into Irish if they can use like the Snapchat filters in Irish, and you can actually use social media every day. And there's lots of influencers as well who use social media to kind of teach the languages. Because I know, for example, in Wales over lockdown, there was a massive load of TikTok stars who became famous because they were teaching Welsh online.
Awesome. All right, so here's some tips for talking about Ireland. It's all about the crack. So the more fun you can have with a campaign, the more successful it'll be. I think I've got some more examples coming up. One of the most successful campaigns, was the Circle K using its Irish employees as the face of their rebrand, which was a really good way to get people involved with a new brand coming into Ireland and establishing itself as being a local brand. Of course, we love to buy Irish and anything that's, to support our own. But that's fair to say with most markets. Make sure you're localizing for the Irish market. Yeah, so we're the HSE, the Health Service Executive, rather than the NHS. And if you tried to suggest using the NHS, it would go down like a ton of bricks.
I think that's true for everything, though. That's one of the big things that I see. Lots of companies coming into Ireland, writing about UK issues or American issues, and you're like, no, that just sounds weird. No, that doesn't work.
Exactly. Pet peeves. Make sure an Irish contact number. Oh yeah, no one likes ringing the UK number. That costs a load. Specify if you're from the UK or not. Yeah. Oh, especially with Brexit now, the taxes and customs. No one will order from UK places if they can absolutely avoid it. I know certain industries have started to import from Germany rather than using the UK because of the customs charges. And yeah, try not to be overly Irish. So try to be somewhat Irish, but try not to be overly Irish. It's a fine line.
Yeah, so it does come across really cringy if somebody adds too much Irishisms, and then it makes you look like a tourist.
So just that no one can say we haven't said it a lot, make sure you treat the UK and Ireland as two separate markets. Thank you. My name's Alan Presh. Feel free to get in touch.
So thank you very much. That was really interesting.